Hey everybody, Jazzy here. In a lot of my recent Twitch streams, I've been asked a lot about which quality of life changes I would like to see brought into the game. And by quality of life, I mean stuff that doesn't necessarily add new content or change like basic game mechanics, just stuff that makes the gameplay experience more enjoyable and less tedious. And to be clear, I've been super happy with all the changes that came with the August quality of life update. I mean, we got the new beard skins, we got quick drop added into the game, we got Battlelisk wings. Can we talk about Battlelisk wings? No, not now, Jazzy. But okay, there's still a lot of changes that I would love to see brought into the game, and here are my top picks from my personal quality of life wish list. Okay, number 1, Fog of War icons for Hutch, Chester, and Glommer. Okay, so in single player Don't Starve, there's never really a question where these followers are because they're basically where you left them. In DST, the icon disappears when you leave the area, so if you forget where you left them, then you might have to comb the map to find them again. I do understand the basic reason behind this. If someone else moves these followers, then an icon on your personal map would not be accurate unless the server constantly updated it the way it does with turf. But structure locations do get saved on the map, even if they get altered after you leave the area. If an area changes like due to regrowth, then those changes get updated the next time you visit the area. So why can't our maps record the last known location of these followers? It seems like an easy thing to add to the game, and for me it makes sense to add it. I mean, isn't the point of a map to record important resource locations so that we don't have to remember them? I don't know. I know one forgetful player in particular who would greatly benefit from that. Alright, number 2. Unique drops for Enraged Claws. Because let's face it, he only exists to punish players who let the deer die. He's one of the hardest bosses in the game, and there's absolutely no reason to fight him. Why not give a good reason, like, I don't know, a unique drop? So the developers of the Uncompromising mode added a Krampus sack as a 100% drop from Enraged Claws. And the flip side of that is you can't cheese the fight anymore because the moment he enrages, his HP goes all the way back to full. And considering how tough this fight is, I actually don't consider it too much of a reward. If the only purpose of Enraged Claws was to punish players, then why not just have him like immediately kill players, or just have him rage and despawn, or just make him completely invincible? If Claws is still fightable and killable at this point, then you're just left with an extremely challenging boss fight that gives no return for the effort. Throw us a bone here, give us a good drop. Okay, number 3, Renewable Beefalo herds. So Klei's been doing a really good job finding new ways to make basically every resource renewable in DST, but one resource they have yet to tackle is beefalo herds. If you kill all the beefalo in the world, they're gone. And it's not that hard to do. A single frog rain can easily wipe out an entire herd. Now, you can let a domesticated beefalo turn feral, which will create a new herd, but if the beefalo are already extinct, then that's not going to help you much. Now recently, Volkgoat herds were made renewable via hunting in the oasis during spring rain, and this could totally be applied to beefalo. Just make it so that if you go on a hunt in the savannah, there's a chance of a wild beefalo spawning. It wouldn't take much doing on the developer side, but it would make a big impact on long-running worlds when the cow population starts to dwindle. Okay, number 4. Crab King breadcrumbs. So at this point, looking for Crab King is very much trying to find a needle in the haystack. I mean, you could be sailing around for hours and not find that ring of sea stacks. And it's not really all that necessary, I think. By contrast, you usually find Pearl's Island pretty fast. I mean, within minutes of sailing, you'll find a bottle in the sea with a message that usually points you to her island. I personally think that once you do enough tasks for Pearl to get the Pearl, then you should also get a map to the location of Crab King. Or, I mean, something, anything. Maybe she could come out of her house during full moon and drop a bottle in the water, like in the direction of Crab King. I think it would make for just a little smoother continuation of that storyline. My final QOL request tops the list. Glowcaps should provide infinite light. I know, it's OP. Hear me out. So currently, spores with full health will last 60 days in a glowcap. And okay, that's a decent amount of time, but in the larger scope of the endgame, it's really not that long. It does make it more worthwhile to kill Misery Toadstool for the glowcap blueprint, but honestly, it didn't do a huge favor to the mega basers. The problem is the upkeep. In order to keep your light in dozens of glowcaps, you will be periodically spending massive amounts of time and resources into maintaining your builds, which just drags down your building potential in the late game. If you have to upkeep your builds, then the more you build, the more time you have to spend maintaining. And honestly, waiting for a fun cap to pop out the occasional spore, or making that yearly trip down to the caves to catch spores that will spoil substantially before you can get them back into a glow cap? No thanks. Yeah, in my Wort Megabase world, I've basically given up on keeping those things fueled. If I need constant light, I will throw up like a polar light or a dwarf star, but honestly, it's a shame. The glow cap is beautifully designed, it's just not that useful to a megabaser. Now, you can use mods to turn on Winter's Feast, and you can farm festive lights from Claws and the Oasis, and those will give you light that lasts forever inside a glow cap, but it's just not an elegant solution, and it should exist only within this limited time event that you need mods just to unlock. I mean, look, we got lampposts in Single Player Don't Starve. Lampposts. It didn't break the game, it added tons of building potential. And it will not break DST. I mean, if you've killed an endgame boss like Misery, or if you've survived over 1,000 days, you deserve to have darkness be a lesser threat than it was on day one. Okay, I'm stepping down off my soapbox now. That's it for my QOL wish list. For now, please let me know in the comments if you agree, if you disagree, and what changes or rebalances you'd love to see in the game with already existing content. Thanks for watching. See you next time.